live your life, but follow a healthy diet. I'm a strict vegetarian. I don't even have egg.
तू विपश्यना में जाता है?
देखो,
They don't get it.
bench press, incline, decline, flat.
Correct.
That's it. Maybe one fly. That's it. That if you need alcohol to enjoy that, you're not enjoying.
You know how different you are from what you look. You could fool anybody. I don't think this is the side of Yash Birla many people know. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Unstoppable, powered by RiteBite Max Protein. मैं हूँ Rohit Roy. Introducing our distinguished guest today. He, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the leading industrialists in India. He assumed leadership of his family business at a very tender age. He is a fitness enthusiast, he is a fashion icon. But most importantly, he is a role model for the youth, having lived his life on his terms. Who better than to have as a guest on a podcast which focuses on health and wellness than someone who has penned a fitness-focused book? Please welcome Yash Birla. Welcome to Unstoppable, Yash.
Thank you so much for having me here.
It's fantastic to have you. The moment to be ideated about Unstoppable, the first name that came to my mind was yours.
My honor, my privilege, and from somebody like you, I think that's a real privilege.
No, because you know, I've seen you for so many years. I've seen you from a distance. I've known you well. But what I've always realized is that you have always lived life on your terms. The business was handed over to you when you were hardly 21, 22, in not such great circumstances, but you lived life on your terms. You handled that, and you are what you are. I believe a lot of people. Before we go in, let me also tell him that we've always had discussions about health, wellness. It's a very well-rounded discussion. We are not sticking to anything. So we have diet, we have exercise, we have nutrition, and most importantly, recovery. And I'm going to talk to you about all of that one by one. But I want to start with seeing the way you are, and you've always been a fitness enthusiast. Today's youngsters are a little railroaded when it comes to nutrition, protein, the right amount of protein, the right kind of protein, especially with so many supplements. So what's your take in all this?
So I do believe there's no real right and wrong for anybody. It's each person has a different body. As you know, we have a different, in fact, in something like Ayurveda, you have Vata, Pitta, Kapha, which are different types of bodies.
In Ayurveda.
Like that, let's forget Ayurveda for the time being. Even in any scientific way, your body is different from mine.
Correct.
The way you metabolize food will be different from the way I do it. So each body is differently made. Now what happens today, because people give too many theories, we keep following a theory strictly. Okay, that much protein, that many grams. Fine, there is a general rule. Yes, follow it, but you can't be too strict with it.
Oh.
Yeah, so you have to be a little flexible because your body will speak. You know, fitness is not only about what we eat, it's how we work out, how we think. As we all know, there are something called endorphins, which make us feel happy, and there's something like cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Now, if you're always thinking, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing this right, can I eat this, can I do that? It's kind of cluttering your mind.
Right.
So, second thing is, I may have 200 grams of protein. How much protein is my body capable of absorbing? That depends on my liver. That depends on my digestion. That depends on my general health. That depends on the whole body. So you have guidelines, but I would say that never be so strict with it. Don't live your life, but follow a healthy diet. I always believe the best way to follow any diet is be healthy. Healthy means don't have processed food, reduce your sugar intake.
Right.
Don't have artificial food made and packaged and things like that.
Right.
And I'll talk more about what food I eat.
In fact, my next question was about food because this segment is about nutrition, ladies and gentlemen. What is your sense of or idea of a healthy meal or a healthy snack? Because, you know, so the RiteBite believes in healthy snacks, protein-based snacks. When it comes to Yash Birla, what do you think that, okay, this is for me a healthy meal. This is for me a healthy snack.
Right. So I think over the years, Rohit, my body started speaking to itself.
Right.
So when I feel hungry, when I feel I must eat a little food, it automatically tells me that it's time to eat. Healthy for me is, I'm of course strict vegetarian.
Oh, you are?
I'm a strict vegetarian. I don't even have egg. Okay. So for me, my proteins are all from vegetarian sources, right? And Now, I somewhere link all this with my spiritual values. We call it in our spirituality sattvic food. What is sattvic food? Is basically fresh, wholesome, complete, not processed. If I call a healthy snack, I may have a skim milk cottage cheese with some herbs in it, and that's healthy for me. Max Protein I love. It's healthy because it's got protein, and we need protein. Let's be honest. Whatever I may say, I need protein if I'm doing heavy weights. So I need protein to recover. So it's a good snack to have. But again, with this you have to have vegetables. You can have spinach, which has protein. We can have a soya burji, which has protein and is healthy. So there are a couple of things. There's yogurt, like a Greek yogurt, which has good proteins and less carbs. So there are a lot of healthy snacks you can have, and that's what I keep intermittently having in my body. Craves for something.
Yeah, you were telling me that every 3-4 hours you have a new snack and all that.
Yeah, so my meals are divided into about 5 or 6 a day.
Okay.
And every meal is not like
a
very rarely like a big thali. I love Indian food, by the way, ghar ka khana. But it's very rarely like a complete thali.
It's small.
It's small portions. Yeah.
Okay. See, you just mentioned you're being a complete vegetarian. You don't even have eggs. Obviously, you're from a family also, which is, all that. Yeah. What is this new thing which is for the last 10 years got a lot of momentum? Turning vegan. A lot of people are turning vegan. What are your thoughts on that?
So, of course, vegan diet is healthy. I would not criticize it. But I guess in today's world, they're just trends. So, gluten-free. Okay, if you're allergic to gluten, don't have gluten. But everybody does not have gluten. Now, we've all grown up having roti, chapati.
I still have it.
And our grandparents always had it, and they were healthy. Yeah. So again, it depends on your body. Yes, now today's gluten could be processed. So choose.
What it is?
So there are a lot of options which it is not processed. Choose the right option. And if your body is not allergic to gluten, have it. Now milk, they say you're allergic to milk because you can't
lactose intolerant. I hadn't heard all these words till the last 10-15 years.
So they're just trendy. Yeah. You could be lactose intolerant, and there are ways to treat it. But again, milk also sometimes is made in a bad way. But then you have branded milk, pure milk, holistic milk, which you can get from. It's basically how you feed the cows and how you keep the cows and how you take out the milk. If you know authentically that it's...
So you have to do a little bit of homework yourself as well.
I personally don't feel there's any harm in milk because Ayurveda prescribes milk. If we see in our mythology, Lord Krishna used to talk about having milk and curd. So being vegan is good if milk doesn't suit you. But I do not see the necessity if cows are not treated cruelly, if milk is not...
Right, exactly. You can't blanket ban or something.
I don't, frankly. I'm a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan.
So this was the interesting and informative bit. I also want him to tell us about his cheat meal of the day. Or at all, because I don't know whether I can say this on camera. He just had a bite of vada pav. I don't know after how many years, but he did. So what's your idea of a cheat meal?
Whenever I have something which I feel is not good for my fitness, or I don't find it a cheat meal because ultimately you should cheat.
Of course.
You can't, in fact, if you only have one type of food, that food is not going to be productive for you. And then when you have suddenly something, it'll become unproductive and in fact it'll become harmful. Okay. So keep your body used to everything. But your specific question is, I have a sweet tooth, to be honest.
Oh.
So
why?
Yeah. It's not called, even every morning for breakfast, I have a brown bread toast, but it's got peanut butter and sugar-free jam. Okay. So I love that taste. Sugar-free jam. But it's got a lot of calories. Right. So that's there. I love this sweet which I've been grown up from chai. I used to carry it every day to my school for a snack. It's called sattu. It's a Marwari sweet which they have in a festival called Teej. Some festival.
This is made out of gram flour?
It's made out of chana ka atta, ghee and sugar. It's loaded with calories.
And you still eat it?
I eat it. Okay. I eat it once in a while when I'm getting that craving. I eat it. And I always feel a cheat meal is good. Next day, maybe eat a little lesser, maybe balance it out with something else, maybe exercise a little more. There's no problem. People make too many problems about feeling guilty about what you've eaten. As long as you know what you're doing and you can balance the next day, it's perfectly fine.
In a nutshell, हम जो कह रहे हैं वो ये है कि कभी-कभी जो दिल करे वो खा लेना चाहिए. It's not going to harm you. Your body is replenishing itself constantly. Constantly your atoms and your cells are rejuvenating themselves. तो आज अगर आपने मान लीजिए बटर चिकन खा लिया या कोई बिरयानी खा ली है, do not feel guilty about it. Treat it a cheat meal, and the next day, like you said, get on to the road and work doubly harder. Moving on to exercise. I mean, it's very evident that you're like I said, he's a fitness icon, and I've seen him like this for the last 20, 25 odd years. What is your idea of fitness? What kind of exercise do you follow? Some, like you was talking about trends and fads. Every Instagram influencer has a different set of exercises for, say, the chest. What is your idea of exercising and fitness?
How many decades people have been bodybuilders? Not today.
Right.
You had those old pelvans, whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
Of course, today fitness to a different extent, because everyone, it's a science. That time it was just by what was taught by a guru, pelvan.
Guru, yeah, correct.
But they all did well. What were they doing? They had a basic gym, what you call akhada gym, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Basic equipment, bench press,
Right.
incline, decline, flat.
Correct.
That's it. Maybe one fly. That's it. Now you can show that in many ways. That okay, we do scoops and we do flies like this with the cable. All is good. Everything is good with a variation.
Right.
Every variation gets your body in a slightly different way. So it is not bad, but it's not imperative.
Okay.
Even if you have the basic bench press, push-ups, simple push-ups, you'll get what you want basically.
Right.
So I do feel that our traditional hardcore
Akhada workout.
akhada gymming workout, which is there, is sufficient to get you where you want to be. The reason why we even I may try new things, because you get bored.
Right.
You feel that the same workout, you just want to feel different. So that's great, but it's not necessary.
I keep saying this, that don't make rocket science out of anything, because it's very simple. I mean, it is a science, but it's very simple, or don't overthink it. My next point to you is something that I've been kind of, I remember meeting you a couple of months back at a common friend's house, and you were leaving and I was going up, and I said, come, have a drink. And you looked at me and said, I've never had a drink in my entire life. And this is something that the youth should also kind of, how it is today. You're going out, you're socializing. Alcohol has become an extremely important part of their lives, and they don't realize the kind of damage it's doing to them. And I realize now, because you've been through the gamut, so I won't give gyan, but coming from somebody like you who has never consumed alcohol, was it a decision because of the family you come from, or was it a conscious decision for health and fitness?
So on this I can give a bhashan where your film will run short. Because I can go on.
I want you to do it, because this is something that is also very close to my heart. I mean, this is something that we need to address.
But I'll try and be as brief as I can. So no, it's not part of my family upbringing. Though, yeah, the Birla family traditionally has been not an alcohol consumer. My father himself used to have alcohol.
Okay.
It's occasionally. My point is, I'm not against alcohol. I'm not saying it's bad to have alcohol. I just feel it's not what I would choose. The reason being, I didn't consume alcohol purely for spiritual reasons. Okay. So I feel that we have a level of intelligence. We have a level of our mind, our brain. Do you know that our brain, what we are using today, is barely about 8 or 9% of 100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Albert Einstein used about 12% and he was a genius. Now you can imagine how much of the brain we're not using. The idea of meditation, pranayam, all these kind of spiritual practices, to use more and more of the brain. I'm going a little esoteric now, but it connects you to the universal energy. So you start connecting to things which come as intuitions. What alcohol does is that 9% becomes 5, 6, 4, 3,
So
2.
it does dull your senses in a way.
Completely dulls your senses. Second is that intoxication is basically, we have an intellect to tell us what is good for us, forget anybody else, what is not. So alcohol kind of dulls that intellect. So we lose the intelligence to know what is good for us, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. Because all inhibitions are dropped. Now, a lot of people tell me today, I love going out, by the way. I do go
Yes,
out
you
often.
do, yes.
So a lot of people say, how do you go out without alcohol and how do you enjoy it? So I said, if you need alcohol to enjoy that, you're not enjoying. The real enjoyment is when you are yourself and you're happy. And if you're not happy, go home.
That's a great point. Great point.
So I go out a lot, probably more than people who consume alcohol regularly. I have a great time. When I'm bored, I go home. I don't need to have a drink to feel happy and alive.
Right.
Alcohol is probably a great deterrent for fitness because it gets bloating, gets water retention. It affects your liver ultimately. If you consume little, maybe very slightly. If you consume a lot more. And the liver governs your entire process of assimilation of proteins, of your food. So everything what you build or the fat you put on will all get affected by alcohol consumption. So if it is affecting my spirituality, which is my mind and brain, the universal energy, if it is affecting my intellect and intelligence, and it is affecting my body,
why do it?
Why do I need to do it? Now the thing is, why don't I touch it? Because the point is, when you consume something, then there can be no limit to it. And somebody will tell you, it's my birthday, have some more. For
There is no limit.
Yeah, for me, it's a rule. I will not even have a sip. And I've never tasted alcohol. I don't know what it tastes like.
You're not missing much.
I don't know. Maybe
I can tell you from
the way some people behave as if it's like nectar. So, but for me personally, it's poison. So it
is poison. Like you rightly said, it kind of drops your inhibitions, and you think that you're having a great time, which you do. I mean, I'm not going to diss it because I've been through that path. But currently, as we speak, I'm completely off alcohol and all things bad. Thank you. And which is why I said that this is something I wanted to share. I read an article about consuming alcohol. I was not even a regular drinker. I'm a social drinker. But it says that it really, really hampers your mind and body. So why do it? It's poison. And this is also for you guys. Okay? So please, whatever we discuss, you can do your own research. You can talk about it with your friends, your doctors, your family. But it is a fact that alcohol dulls all your senses, mental, spiritual, and physical.
And you'll realize it yourself the next day. Of course, you're having a good time that day. The next day when you wake up, you will not feel energetic, you will feel dull, you may have some negativity in your thought process.
Right.
I just feel, why do all this? What's
the crash is there. Yeah. You're talking about, along with physical fitness, you've always been a proponent of mental health, mental fitness. And I keep seeing your videos when you go to Rishikesh, and you live a life which is of an ascetic there. If I saw an image of Yash Birla in Rishikesh and I saw one here, you would not be able to connect. So what are your thoughts on mental well-being?
I think that's the foundation. Whatever we see ourselves in everywhere is a manifestation of the core we believe in. For me, that's the most important part of life. So basically from the age of maybe 14, which is rare as a teenager, I had this strange interest in Indian spirituality. So I pick up the Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita.
At 14?
Yeah. And it was, in fact, even my parents found it a little strange because they said from where. So I was going to for my MBA to the University of North Carolina, and when my mom just came to help me to see what I'm packing, so she saw these cassettes of Bhagavad Gita chanting. So she said, what is this going for? So I said, no, when I have free time, I go into the forest and I keep hearing these chants and explanations or talks. So she says, you're supposed to study and enjoy there as a student. I said, this is my
enjoyment. Yeah. Wow.
So I believe I do believe in life after life, life before life, whatever you call it. So it's karmic. Why at 14, without being told by my parents, and then this desire came up to me?
It's coming from the last life.
So it's somewhere. It's coming from somewhere. It's inherent. And that desire has been there from then to now. So it's a core of my life. To understand that what we live, our day-to-day life, we have to live it, give it our best, succeed wherever you have to be. But there is something else within. There is something else. So when we go to sleep, Rohit's not thinking, but there's something else which is remaining. What is that? That's the consciousness. That's the divinity. That's the, what we call Shivoham, the part of Shiva which is in us. So when you learn to see that everything else is transient, it comes and goes, happiness and sadness and stress and worries and joy, all they come and go. But what remains constantly is an observer, something else, something beyond. And that is what we meditate on. That is what we feel when we pray, that something inside feels happy and joyful. So I believe that soul, what I call my conscience, is something which I have to touch base with every day. And that conscious is the foundation. Then whatever I do, I have to do. I am doing everything what I need to do. It's not like I have to go into the Himalayas and
Meditate or
but there's something else which is within, which is talking, which is alive, which is guiding if you listen to it. Some people don't want to listen to it. And when you touch yourself in meditation, you realize that there's something beyond. There's something beyond from your mundane thoughts, which we get so entangled in that we think that's just what life is about.
Right. You know how different you are from what you look. You could fool anybody. I don't think this is the side of Yash Birla many people know. And I'm glad he's here on Unstoppable and sharing all his thoughts. In fact, when people, I'm a Vipassana practitioner. I've been to the Golden Pagoda 4 times for 11-day discourses of Aryamon. But when people look at me, they're like, "Tu Vipassana mein jata hai?" They don't get it.
So that makes 2 of us.
Yes, absolutely. Which is why you were my first thought. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to the next segment. It's about nutrition. He's already told us a lot about nutrition, but I want to know, you said something that it's not only about nutrition, it's about what you do. My thought has been that it's more about nutrition than what you do in the gym. What are your thoughts again?
I would not put a percentage to it, but I would say they're equally important.
Equally important.
So if you go to every gym, then some people who come every day,
Right.
you see them working out for 1.5 hours, but they remain almost the same.
I absolutely agree.
Why is that so? Because they're not focusing on the nutrition. You're going to work out for that 1 hour,
Right.
you're going to burn calories, build your muscle, whatever. And then you're going to have pakoras and kachoras and fried food and processed food. And what's the point, right? So, on the other hand, you eat a very healthy diet and you eat very good food, but you don't exercise at all. You don't walk, you don't run, you don't do push-ups, forget weight training, you don't do anything. So, you will be thin maybe, but will you be fit? Will you be firm? No. You won't look good and you won't feel good. So they both complement each other. Now, of course, when you want to have a muscular body, which is what we do for being in the gym, there is no way we can do it without working out. So that's important because we can't just eat healthy and be there. And whatever we do at the gym, if we don't eat healthy and don't have enough nutrition, it's of no use.
And you know, the other thing is that since I think 2019, 2020, with the coming of COVID, a lot of things have changed. People look at nutrition and fitness very differently. People have started working out of home. They do all these kinds of new dishes, which are, as you said, some are fad, some are good. What are your thoughts? Has anything really changed since COVID, or are we back to being what we were?
So it definitely has, and I think, of course, it was a bad event. The whole globe faced COVID. It was very stressful and troublesome, and obviously, my empathies to all the people who had health problems but the thing is, it has left us with a feeling that, again, what I keep saying, there's something more beyond the mundane life, because the mundane life you never know when it's out. So people started getting more into health. They started understanding time to yourself. I know a lot of people who shifted out of metropolitan cities and stayed somewhere else because at that time everyone started working from home.
Right.
So a lot of people follow that culture
And
today.
then come back.
That you don't need to be really in front of a desk. You can use your mind from anywhere. To some extent, human memory is short, so people start coming back to where they were. But COVID has left an essence of much more awareness of health, fitness, gym, nutrition, meditation, pranayam, spirituality.
How important it is to be healthy.
Yeah, so that still happens. I feel a lot of people have to some extent changed. Maybe not completely, but partially.
Yes. I think, that change was for the better. And now for the last bit of this conversation, which according to me is probably the most important. Recovery.
Right.
Like you said, you mentioned that somebody works out in the gym for like an hour every day, but there's no great improvement you see. One could be nutrition or the lack of it. The B thing is that they still want to push themselves and they don't know whether their body has recovered or not. What are your thoughts on that?
So, okay, if I think most people know, what are we doing at the gym? When we do weights, we are breaking down the muscle.
Correct.
Right? Actually, the muscle is depleting. And when the muscle breaks down, it repairs. And if you give it good nutrition, it enhances. That's
Right.
the
Very
whole
simple.
purpose of weight training. Now you break down the muscle, and next day again you break it down, and you keep breaking it down. You don't give it rest and recovery and nutrition, then how is it going to grow? It's not going to grow.
Correct.
That's what you call overtraining. So people don't understand, and that's why we do things like push-pull routine. So if you're doing your chest today, do your back tomorrow, so the chest has some rest. You can take a
Have you ever fallen prey personally to overtraining?
To be honest, Rohit, what happens with me is that when I travel for work and things like that, sometimes I can't work out for 3 or 4 days, 5 days. For me, that's also incomplete.
Right.
So then I kind of do a little bit of overtraining. I train every day because I'm going to take 5 days complete rest. So that overtraining also becomes
It's going to lead to recovering later.
because I'm going to, no, instead of recovering for 1 or 2 days, 5 days, I'm going to do nothing.
Okay.
So I do it sometimes. The other thing is my body, since I've been working out for more than 2 decades, it's used to its own recovery and processes which are a little different from when you start off. But for regular normal people, I think rest is very important. Recovery, where you give each body part rest, and recovery is proper nutrition is important. Sleep is important.
I was going to come, that's my next question.
Yeah, so I'll wait for your next question. So without all these things, you're never going to achieve your goal. So why are you stressing yourself by over-performing? Now you have some people, of course, we've had these horrible instances of people have collapsed in the gym and they've had a heart attack and this and that.
Yeah, of late I've been hearing so much about all this.
Youngsters. Yeah, so I don't know whether it's overtraining or whether it's something to do with COVID or whatever. We don't know.
It does have something to do with COVID.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories to it. But I'm just saying, here the main thing, and when I talk about mind, body, spirit, hear your body, feel your mind, and hear your intellect. So it'll all tell you, I'm overtraining, I'm fatigued, I'm tired, I'm feeling not alive. That means stop.
Stop.
Right? Whether you're at the gym at that time or whether you're at home and you just don't feel like doing anything active, means you've been overtraining. Just stop. Learn to listen to your body speaks. We don't listen to it because we're listening to too many other people. This you do, that you do, that. Follow their advice, but listen to your body.
Super. And you kind of, little bit you said sleep is very important. That's my last question because I want to end it on that note that people nowadays, especially the youth, they think, aaj kam soyenge, kal so lenge.
I hope nobody's sleeping in our conversation by now.
Don't you dare sleep, you'll miss a lot of good information. Yeah, how important is sleep? Whether you work out, whether you're into nutrition, whether for a normal human being, how important is a good night's sleep?
Very, very important for every human being. So again, as we say, there's a whole universe in our bodies, right? So there's an endocrine system, there are hormones. Now, it's a little scientific, but there's something called growth hormone.
Right.
Growth hormone makes your body recover, is responsible for anti-aging, things like that. That is secreted only when you sleep.
Oh,
right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now, if you don't sleep, then that growth hormone won't be secreted. Then your kind of cortisol levels, which is basically a muscle destroyer. Cortisol stress, when you're awake all the time, there's bound to be some stress in your waking hours. And if you're not giving it enough rest, cortisol will start destroying the muscle growth that you're going to get. So sleep is very important. Now, hours of sleep is relative. Yeah. Between around 7 hours, 7.5, 8 hours, whatever suits your body.
I seem to need 9 hours of sleep. Yeah.
That-
Not that I get it, but when I have slept for 9 hours, I feel great the next day.
That's brilliant. So depending on your work, but I would say 7 hours
Minimum
should
7.
be your level of sleep minimum. And of course, sleep also depends on the way you are. If you're stressed the whole day, if your mind is too active the whole day.
Now, how do you counter that? You said cortisol levels with stress, but we are all stressed at some level or the
We all
other.
are, 100%.
Do you think any tips for our audience on how to counter that stress and still be peaceful at night and sleep?
So there is, as I said, meditation. I meditate before I sleep every night.
Would you recommend it to the youngsters?
I think I recommend it from we used to have gurukuls in the earlier
course.
days. So there's from the age of 7, they used to start understanding gurus. So this whole story of, let's grow old and then we'll think of all this.
Right.
All
It's
rubbish.
cool.
Because your whole life manifests into a beautiful universe when you start all this from as young as you can.
Yeah.
So meditation makes your sleep deeper, makes your mind positive because that 6, 7, 8 hours you're sleeping, positivity is going in the circuit. Whatever we put last in our mind, while we sleep goes into a circuit internally. So meditation is very good. There's a yogic kriya called Yoga Nidra. I don't know, it's quite popular. It's there on YouTube. You can just Google it. So it's like basically not a sleep, but it puts you into a spiritual sleep. So it takes you through your body and through your chakras and just makes you have a very deep relaxation.
Nice.
So
Yoga Nidra.
Yoga Nidra, yeah. A lot of gurus and masters have orally given a guidance, and you can just follow it on YouTube. You can do it before you sleep and go into sleep. Or you can do it if you're really tired in the middle of the afternoon, you feel suddenly rejuvenated.
Oh, really? You can do that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we let you go, I know it's been a very nice chat and I want to keep it going, but you'll have to leave eventually. But we have this segment called Keep It Going. At some stage in life, we all go through that one moment where we say, "Yaar, enough is enough. I'm not being able to do it, man. Come on, let me do this, that, the other." What has been your mantra to keep it going?
So I have a personality which doesn't let me deteriorate. Okay. So if I feel that I was and I am not as I was, I'm not happy. So I keep going. If I've achieved something, I need to stay there. I need to improve also, but I need to stay there. So, and I tell this to everybody, even the youngsters. Some people, they do healthy things, they work out. Suddenly they'll go every day for 2 hours. And then it's like a cracker. It bursts and then it
Finished.
Go slow, steady. Consistency is one of the most important things in life for everything. Whatever we choose to do, now when I spoke about yoga, pranayama, meditation, workout, all this comes in consistency. If you don't do too much, which you can't keep up, because then you'll get burnt out. So for me, consistency is one of the core essence of my personality. Whatever I was doing 30 years back, I'm still doing.
Okay.
Whatever I told you are my beliefs. If I might have spoken to some people or given some interviews even back then, it's the same talk I'm giving.
The core
today.
is the same.
And my views on certain topics, like you talked about alcohol, was the same 30 years back, is the same today. So for me, I'm very consistent in my thoughts, in my views, in my actions, in my habits.
That is, in fact, your keep going mantra.
Yeah, that's my keep going mantra.
I also really, really believe in this, that consistency is key. On that note, thank you so much, Yash. It's been a pleasure, man.
Thank you, brother.
I'm so glad we did this, and this was fantastic. It was a lot of knowledge for me as well. A lot of things I take for granted, thinking that I know.
So now next time I'm coming on that chair,
yes,
and I'm going to ask you a lot more questions.
Done. On that note, we'll end today's conversation. But you guys keep watching Unstoppable, because next we will see you with another celebrity, another fitness enthusiast, and lots more for you to learn. Thank you for tuning into Unstoppable, powered by RiteBite Max Protein, and I shall see you next time. Stay connected, stay healthy. Lots of love.